Can everybody hear me? Cool, okay. Screen? Screen? No. Harry Potter, eat your heart out. Okay, I've got tap dance. It's the tap dance. Go, go, go. Okay, welcome to the DemoJam. Woo! My name is Pindar. I'm a Salesforce MVP and technical architect, and this is...
I am Jodi Wagner. I am a Salesforce MVP and solution engineer.
So make sure you follow us using the hashtag #DemoJam and LDNSCall19. And the winner of the DemoJam will get the much coveted DemoJam award. And it's really cool. We think we found it. It's fine. So, yeah, at the end of the day, if nobody... so at the end of the DemoJam, you will be voting on your favorite DemoJam. So keep an idea on what those DemoJams are that you really like. Okay, right. Jodi, the rules.
Okay. Demos must be live. You have 3 minutes. You cannot use any slideware. No cheating. You cannot use any pre-recorded demos. Did you hear me? Okay. You can only vote once. You cannot vote for your own company. I know, I am a killjoy, but you cannot vote for your own company. You want other people to vote for your company. And there will be one winner chosen by you, our audience. So we will show you a poll. You choose the one person the one app you think is amazing. Once, you can vote once. And then we'll give out a special link for the demos afterwards. We only let the voting be open for a couple minutes, so make it fast, make it snappy. You ready?
Everybody got the rules? Okay, are we ready for the first one to start?
Yep. Yes.
Is the timer ready?
Wait, you're going to read them off.
Okay. Okay, so the first one, if I scroll up, sorry. It's Cloud Galacticos. So with Paul Bedison and Neil McCarney, sorry. I've even worked with you in the past.
Yeah.
Anyways. Cloud Galacticos are sharing a new app for admins and devs with us called Microscope. Here we go.
So, good afternoon, everyone. Really pleased to be here today to show you a brand new app because you are the intended audience for this. So, we've both been working with Salesforce for over 10 years now, over 15 in certain cases. That's why Neil has no hair anymore. And one of the things that's really difficult is governor limits. You're working away, you're building an app, you start to get more and more scale, and suddenly, slam, a governor limit hits you, you can't work anymore, it's really difficult. As an admin, it's really difficult to know when these things are coming up as well. And you know what, as a customer, you don't know when you make a change whether it's going to impact you to break something or not, and what's using these governor limits up. So we've developed Microscope. And Microscope's a tool that allows you to profile your transactions within your code and within your flows so that you can see where you're using your limits. So on screen now you can see, with my head in the way, a profile that we created earlier. And the way Microscope works is it takes a series of snapshots. So these are point-in-time pictures of how you're using your governor limits. So as you start to enter your before insert trigger, you can take a snapshot. As you leave that trigger, you can take another snapshot. And you can start to build up a profile which is a series of snapshots. You can see here as a related list on this record that will attach to it and allow you to know how you're using these resources. You can see here as well, we can also capture errors and exceptions outside the transactions so that they persist, which for developers, you will all know if you try and save them anywhere, they'll just roll back. So what we can do is if we go back to the details page, we can go over here and we've got a nice visualization. Here's one I'm Blue Peter fashion made earlier. And we can see that we have different snapshots. You can see how the CPU time is being used over the course of the transaction. We can also go down and see things like DML statements. We can see heap size. And what this allows us to do is see where we're using up these resources. It's all well and good, I hear you say. You've mentioned you can do that via some code. It's just a couple of little lines of code that you snip it in. But what if I'm an admin? Well, we've got admins covered as well. You can go into the flow builder. You can add an Apex action. And you can call out to our record snapshot action. When you call out to that action, you can then just pass in some parameters, set a label, and it will then store that snapshot for you as well. So for admins out there creating flows, you can now make sure you know how much resources your flows are using before they blow up the rest of the org. Or if you add them in, you can then point back to the developer and saying, my flow is not the problem, it's your code. Now, mentioned you can capture exceptions. One of the other things
30
you might want
seconds.
to do is you also might want to get notifications as you're approaching limits. So the standard notifications at halfway will allow you to do that at whatever level you want. You can also sample. So when you're in development or in testing, you might want to record all your transactions, but in production, you don't want to do that. And so you're just going to be able to sample at a rate for each different profile you want. So 10% of all the transactions. We're really excited to be announcing this and sharing it with you today. We're downstairs, booth number 1. Come and see if you want to find out more. And hopefully this is something you all enjoy and like. Look at that, bang on.
Great job, Cloud Galacticos. Next, on my side, we have OwnBackup. We have Devinder and John, and they're going to take us through OwnBackup, which is one of the best rated apps in IT management on the App Exchange, offering an independent backup recovery, replication, and management solution. It is the solution to ensure that you never lose data while operating in the cloud. Are the both of you ready?
So why do you need a backup for Salesforce? Well, the reason is that if you ever lose or corrupt data in your Salesforce org, it could take you weeks or even months to get that data back. And of course, you have a $10,000 recovery cost from Salesforce. We actually have a fact sheet that we wanted to show you. It's right in Salesforce in the DemoJam campaign. Why don't we bring that up, John?
Yeah, sure. Let me check that out right here. And, whoops. Let me try searching that again, spelling London correctly, and I'm not seeing it.
You sure? It should be in there.
Bro, it's not here.
This is embarrassing. Oh, hey, why don't we look in the backup?
Good idea. Let me jump over to OwnBackup. Here's our multi-org dashboard. We can view all of our environments from a single screen. So let me click into this org, and we'll go right to our visual graph. So let me filter down on campaigns, and we'll be able to see all changes in our data. And it looks like there were a few deletions.
I actually did some cleanup on the campaigns just this morning.
Bro, what are you thinking? Right before the demo jam?
Sorry, bro. My bad.
I don't know what we're going to do.
Well, lucky we had a backup.
We do. So you know what? Why don't I click on this data point? It'll take us directly to the backup. I could filter down on campaigns, and here we see that one is lost. So why don't I kick off the restore job, get this campaign back into Salesforce?
Amazing. So the great thing about OwnBackup, we don't just restore the records, we still restore all of the relationships too. So as we can see, even though we just deleted one campaign, we actually deleted some campaign members, some attachments, and if we go ahead and kick off that restore.
That's probably the attachment we were looking. So let me kick this off. It might take a couple minutes to execute.
Fantastic. So while that's running, why don't we look at some of the other features in OwnBackup? Let's say the find feature. This is a great way to look for a particular record going back through the archive. For example, a customer with a GDPR request.
It's a great idea. So our find utility is not only good for archiving and finding those records, but also for compliance. I can search any backup for any environment across any point in time.
Now this is going to search across those two specific times, and we should see the results start to appear right on this screen in a second.
Exactly. So even if there's multiple versions of the same record, here we go, Francis Pindar, we could see them all here right in the results, and I could submit my forget record request right here from the find results. Now, let's go check on that restore job. It should be back in Salesforce right now, so let me refresh this search, and there's our campaign. We could see if the attachment's in there, and it looks like it's there. Let me open that up, and boom, there's the fact sheet.
Wow, amazing. So in 3 minutes, we were able to analyze what went wrong, find the missing data, and get it back into Salesforce.
Awesome.
We're OwnBackup. We love protecting your Salesforce data. We love you guys. Vote for us. Come and see us in the booth.
Okay, next up, get off the stage. Right, next up we have Elements Cloud. Elements Catalyst is an app to help you clean up, document, and drive adoption of your org. Viewers are free, and editors are $2 a day. Prepare to get a view of your org you've never seen before. We have Richard Parker, founder and chief customer officer, and Ian Gotts, founder and CEO. Are you ready? Okay, you're ready now. On your mark, get set, go!
Thank you very much. Well, Ian is putting his admin hat on for the day, which means that he's going to do this with a blindfold on, because that's pretty much the view of the org that you have, right, as admins, trying to understand what's already there. So I think it's a bit unfair, though, to do that, although you can come to our booth and get your own one of these. So what you have here is a managed application that syncs nightly with your Salesforce org and shows you everything that's in it, both core and managed packages. Think of it like Salesforce Optimizer, but a bit more detailed. It's the Fitbit to Salesforce Optimizer's health check. So we're drilling into objects here, going to project object. You can see contextually over here on my left, everything to do with that object. You've got records here with impact analysis on those records. But you as admins live in setup. And for those of you who use this already, from now, so do we. So you clicked on a Salesforce link there. This is taking you into setup, into Object Manager, and the right panel you saw is now inside Salesforce itself. So all of that information, all the details, the documentation, the usage, everything is there in the right panel inside Salesforce using a Chrome extension. So in terms of documentation, it could be linking to the operational processes. In terms of, it could be data models. It is basically how your organization works. You're supporting with Salesforce. But if you click on usage, you're actually then getting a picture of what is the usage in terms of this object. But if we go down into the field level, which you can do here, and pick a field, so we've got the budget field here, suddenly that becomes a lot more interesting in terms of, can I delete this field? You know, who here feels comfortable about deleting a field in their org? Well, this gives you insights to go, you know, where is this actually used? Think of it as field trip on steroids, but on a daily basis, being updated, getting information about this. So you can see there all the different places that this is used, and you can link in the right there, that little Salesforce symbol means you can go straight to that specific point in setup. Okay, massively important to be able to get to all this information, and that tribal knowledge that you've got over the years, instead of it being lost, it's here in one place, it's gradually building up over time. So also, one of the things that you do, that documentation could be a workshop. You just want to take a picture of, this is the whiteboard. So that documentation is where you are. Fantastic, let's just get it in so that in 2 years' time, we know what happened and where it goes. So that's posted straight onto the tree, and it's available from there. So go to the App Exchange. You can get the 11-minute version of this and understand how it really works. Come and talk to us on the booth. We look very, very much forward to talking to you. $2 a day, get a view of your org you've never seen before. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Elements Cloud. Next up, we have David from Copado. If you've ever used Copado, it's pretty great. And it enables faster, error-free digital cloud deployments and upgrades with continuous integration. It is 100% native on the Salesforce platform, and it helps you with faster cloud deployments. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm David from Copado. And how many of you have struggled deploying Salesforce changes? I know many of you. So sandboxes might not be in sync, releasing new features to production can take some time, and overriding happens very often. So you're in the right place because Copado solves your problems. So in Copado, you connect first your development sandboxes to your integration and testing sandboxes, and then to production, so that from one single place, you can orchestrate the deployments of all your new features across all your sandboxes. As a developer, if I'm working on a sandbox, I'm going to go ahead and declare my changes in a user story if I'm working on metadata, fields, Apex code, and I can do some testing. I can do testing on my Apex, do code analysis, and I can do validation deployments just to make sure that my changes are deployable. So once I'm finished with my story, I can go ahead and deploy that from the development stage all the way to production. And I can even do back deployments to keep all the sandboxes in sync. Now, as you deploy changes, you want to make sure that you are testing all the functionality so that you make sure it's still working. So for that, we have an automated testing application where you can easily record your test scripts. So for example, here I'm here in the Salesforce CPQ, and I'm going to go ahead and select a product. So as I'm typing, clicking, and selecting values, the Selenium application is building a script based on the elements that you're clicking. So you can go ahead and record all your common business processes, and you can automatically run this automated test. And if there's any issues, you can always review a video recording of your test to troubleshoot and find what needs to be fixed. So also, in Copado, you want to make sure that all your new features are compliant. For example, you want to make sure that the information is secure to be GDPR compliant. So here, I created a simple rule to make sure that no other profiles other than the admin have access to this credit card object. So Copado can check your metadata and even stop a deployment. And because we're Salesforce native, you can leverage the power of reports and dashboards to monitor all your compliance testing, your automated testing, and all your deployment activity. And as you standardize your release process and you grow in your company, you want to make sure that you have a streamlined process that everybody can follow so that you can fully focus on building new features that add great value to your business and that you can maximize your Salesforce investment. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Hello. Hey, next up we have MapAnything. MapAnything makes geo-productivity software for companies that use Salesforce to empower field sales, fleet service, fleet and marketing teams with location-based insights. Their app suite includes their IoT-enabled MapAnything Live product, enables businesses to drive more revenue, lower costs, and increase productivity, all within their CRM workflow. So here we have Cam Simmons. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go!
So the elephant in the room is you guys aren't in sales, I'm not in sales, but today I'm going to put my sales hat on, and if we can make the job easier for the sales rep, that means they spend less time bugging you, which is a win for everybody. So today I'm in sales, and I'm planning a trip to London for next week, right? I'm going to be in London, and I'm actually going to be there for an event at CodeNode. While I'm there, I want to plan some time, and I'll plan some meeting with some of my customers. So I'm going to plot a layer of data in MapAnything. We live right inside Salesforce, and I'm really querying on data in a similar way that you might report on data in a Salesforce report. What returns back is my accounts that I own, and I have them color-coded by the last time I visited them. So as a rep, as a service technician, as somebody in the field, I can start to prioritize my data. What I want to do is I want to find that event that I have at CodeNode, so I'm going to search for CodeNode up here. And it's going to return back some results, but I'm going to find the one on the map, and I'm going to take that, and I'm going to add it to my schedule. This is going to integrate with the calendar and the events in Salesforce. I can take that and I can say I know that event is happening on Tuesday at 11 a.m. That's an hour long. I want to schedule around this. So while I'm there, I'm actually going to go back to my Layers tab here. I'm going to go find CodeNode again. I want to find all the accounts that I haven't visited, maybe in an extended period of time that's close by. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to set a proximity center. This is going to give me a couple mile radius around the event. Make sure it's close, make sure it's in zone 1 so I can jump on the tube. And I want to focus on those accounts that maybe I haven't visited in over 91 days. In that general radius, I have, looks like 28 accounts. I have $500,000 US in opportunity amount. So I want to take those and I want to schedule those as some drop-ins. So I'm going to come in, I will use my mass actions, and I'm going to add them all to my schedule. It looks like I'm coming in over the weekend. I'm flying out of Heathrow on Friday. So I'm really just planning for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And what this is doing, which might apply a little bit more to you guys, is we have a proprietary optimization engine that takes all the logic. It takes historical traffic data. It takes constraints, and is very API focused. So it's something that you guys can use in your own applications as well. And it's going to optimize for London for those 4 days and give me outputs of full routes. These will integrate with my calendar in Salesforce. It'll put events on my calendar, associate them to those accounts, and give me an output of routes for those days. Now, keep in mind, when I'm out in the field, I can use this on my mobile application. This is a great plan. This is a great way to quickly create where I'm going to be going and plan
30
that
seconds.
out. But if you guys have ever heard of Mike Tyson, he had a quote where he said, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And we kind of agree with that, right? So something's going to change, something's going to come up, somebody's going to cancel on you as a field resource. Using MapAnything from my mobile device, maybe I could come back in and overlay maybe opportunities by stage, maybe my leads. Ultimately, it's going to be a tool that allows your field resources an easy way to get in front of the right people and ultimately sell more. So thank you.
Thanks, MapAnything. Next up, we have Validity, and Chris Hyde is here with us to show us why Validity is the leading provider of CRM data integrity solutions. You know their products: Demand Tools, Dupe Blocker, People Import, and Bright Verify. You should go and talk to them about their new trust assessment and the magic they can do with your Salesforce data. I hear they have a magician. All right, you guys ready? There you go.
Are we going? Good. So I'm in Salesforce, and I'm, let's say, an account rep. I want to start calling my customers. And I've got this brand new cool telephony system built in. And on the right-hand side, over here, this is my customer's phone. He's currently browsing the Validity website, and you can see he's looking at stuff, and that's all cool. I'm going to dial him. We can see the telephony system working here, but we can also see the problem. This customer is clearly in the UK. What we're not seeing here is the UK phone number. So it's not going to work. So I'm going to end that. The problem's actually bigger than that, though. The problem is across all of our accounts. Here we can see one of the problems with Salesforce. The country field is free text. So I've got long countries, short countries, letter countries, two-letter countries, three-letter countries. All of the phone numbers are ruined as well. So we're going to go fix that. Thanks, by the way. OK, I'm in Demand Tools. I'm going to go into Mass Impact, which is one of the modules of Demand Tools. I'm going to load a scenario just to save me some clicks. And what that's going to do is tell me the field, or the object I'm working with, in this case accounts, the fields I want to work on the right-hand side. Then it's going to tell me which records I want to work on. We're using a subset here, those accounts that contain the name ship. And finally, what do I want to do to those records? So the first thing I'm going to do, we saw the billing country was all messed up. So I'm going to run a formula across all of those records that takes the billing country and fixes it. If it's a 2-letter or a 3-letter billing country, it's going to fix it and make it fully qualified. The second thing I'm going to do, and this is brand new in Demand Tools for those of you who already use it, this is International Phone Fix. And what this is going to do is take that phone number and the country field, and it's going to match the country field to the phone number, make sure we've got the right code, the country in the right format, and everything is going to be standardized, and hopefully, and I'm way inside time here. What we can see here on the right-hand side, everything in green is going to be changed in Salesforce. So we can see UK becomes United Kingdom, GBR becomes United Kingdom, US and USA become United States. We can see the phone numbers have had the correct country codes put in, the zeros dropped, the brackets removed, the dashes removed, all of that good stuff. When I hit update in Salesforce, that's going to update those 139 records, 144 records in this case. And that's done. So let's switch back to Salesforce. And back to my customer's phone. Just going to refresh this. I'm purposely milking the time here. And what we'll see on the right-hand side, billing country is all now fixed. All of the phone numbers have been fixed. Let's open tricky data shipping again. And this time we'll try and give them a call. And let's see what happens. Thank you. Come and see us and come and see our magician over lunch. Cheers.
Cool. Next up, we have FontEva. So FontEva is an App Exchange Premier Partner, and their 100% Salesforce native event management solution is the highest rated events tool on App Exchange. Whether you're hosting a simple seminar or a multi-day conference, FontEva Events can have you covered with functionality to manage online registration, agendas, logistics, and more. Their unique solution leverages Salesforce communities for slick, configurable events pages, and you can easily be integrated with other Salesforce tools like Pindar and Surveys. We have Events Solution Manager Matt Frank taking the DemoJam stage, along with James McCoy, Events Account Executive, doing the clicking. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, I'm Matt. This is Jimmy. He's my clickbait for today. And we're going to show you FontEva Events, the 100% native to Salesforce events management solution. So we're going to start off today with a conference-style event. This would be something like a multi-day, multi-track event that includes some really cool features like an agenda builder. And again, you can see that Jimmy's filtering here by day, by track. It's super duper awesome. But what about simple events where you don't need multiple tabs, you don't need multiple tracks? Well, we have you covered there too. Imagine all that functionality shrunk down onto one page where you can register with just a few simple clicks. So FontEva Events handles all of your different event styles, whether it be a user group event, a day like today, or even Dreamforce. But if we go back to the registration flow, we can see here that FontEva actually has a form builder native within the program. And that's super cool because it allows you to ask as many different registration questions as you want along the way, learning more about all of your conference registrants during each event registration. Then, as you go through the checkout process, you're actually able to have all of that registration data stored within Salesforce the entire time. Because again, and we'll harp on this throughout the day, if it's not in Salesforce, it doesn't exist. So, we've looked at the attendee view. Now let's go backwards to the staff view. So we're here in the back end, and FontEva makes creating and managing events very, very simple with our Lightning Event Builder. This is within Salesforce, and it allows you to make and create edits in real time, have them live update directly onto an event preview within the Salesforce space, and create things like tickets, venues, speakers, sponsors. We do event cloning and even have automatic status transition. So if you're managing 1 or even 1,000 events, it can all be done within a few simple clicks. Now let's talk about branding. Branding is a big, ugly space in the room, but we have you covered there as well. All you have to do is add in your hex codes, simple color palette, or even as much custom CSS as you would like, and you can customize to your heart's content. And again, this is all completely native to Salesforce. So the data stays within Salesforce. The front end is done in the communities, so you can start to leverage reports, dashboards, and even Einstein to get some really, really good analytics on your event and customer data all in the same space. Now, you can't do that with any off-platform events management solutions, so ditch your integrations, go native with Salesforce in FontEva Events, and besides, come see us, we have donuts. That's pretty awesome. See you guys.
Great job, FontEva, and we do love the donuts. So next up, we have Tara from NewVoiceMedia. Tara is their head of sales, and she is going to talk to us about why NVM is a leader, a global leader, in cloud contact center and inside sales technologies that enables businesses to create exceptional and emotive customer experiences to serve us better and sell more. And she just see this emotive experience, so take it away.
Thank you very much. Hi, my name's Tara, and I'm here to show you about our product. And I'm going to kick off straight into the demo. So at the moment, everybody's talking about omni-channel, multi-channel, and the different ways customers can contact companies. So I'm going to start off with a chat. And it's nice and simple, and it's taking advantage of Salesforce Einstein at this point. This is a bot. This isn't a human. And I can straight away go in and start requesting help with what I need help with. So I've put in my order number. I've said I need help with an order. And it's gone away and it's finding some information. It's actually saying, you know what, I've got a problem right now because the Wi-Fi in here is a bit funny. So they're going to actually give me a call back. If this was able to look me up in Salesforce, it would actually tell me what my number is and ask me to confirm. But in this case, I'm going to type it in and do it manually. And so it's there, and it's loading, and it's requesting a verification code. So it's nice and secure so that everything is making sure that we're speaking to the right people at the right time. I've got my verification code, and I can type that in. And as we're talking about orders, there's things like payment details. We want to make sure that we're being really specific here. So now I've done that, I'm going to end my chat. What a user sees when they live in our portal is all inside Salesforce. It's coming through to me, and it tells me that there's a callback coming. It shows me who I'm calling, hopefully, and why I'm calling. And that's coming through to my phone. I can see the chat that's taken place. I can see who I'm speaking to. And I can see the full history of what's going on. I can, even if I want to, go through and see the insight from the web page, if this was working. Yeah, it was worth a shot. So I'm able to see the full history of what's going on. Now, as always with live demos, it's a bit tricky. So I have loaded some things up in advance. So here's my contact pad, but actually everything that we want to know about the phone call comes afterwards. I can see if it's an inbound call or an outbound call. Using the power of Salesforce and of Einstein, I can track everything about that, including the conversation and the sentiment. You can see it on a call-by-call basis. You can see it through to a dashboard. And then with Einstein Analytics, you can see it for your entire call center and business. You can drill down and see if people are being compliant, if they're selling correctly, and really analyze that data. If you want to see more information or a demo that actually works, we've got a booth downstairs. And we are on the App Exchange with videos. Thank you very much.
Next up, we have SharinPIX, the image management app on the App Exchange for any Salesforce implementation, from retail execution to field sales, from marketing to customer care. They cover all your image use cases in Salesforce. As image and Salesforce experts, they deliver the best Salesforce experience with advanced image features like editing, annotations directly from the record page on any device. The app comes with unlimited storage, integration with Salesforce mobile app and field service Lightning app, as well as offline support. Jean-Michel, are you ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, perfect. So first, I want to apologize for my very bad English accent. As you know, I'm French. SharinPIX is an image management tool that is built in Salesforce that permits come as a Lightning component that permits to have a way to upload, manage, and edit images directly within your record. It's even available mostly everywhere as an example in a web form. It's also available directly in a case where you can make annotation. It's also available directly on your mobile using your brand new page builder. We are beta part of that and demoed on every world tour worldwide around that. And you have all the tools available in the Touch UI that is coming. It's exact same thing that you can find back directly then within your page record, where you can see the annotation that has been made on the mobile. You can even make some tags added on those pictures. When you add a tag, interesting thing, those images could be saved as a resized version, as a URL field in Salesforce. So you know what? You can render that into a formula. And that could be very interesting, because then you can have views like that out of the box without writing any line of code. But that's not all. We are one of the 24 powered by Lightning App Exchange app on the App Exchange. And those has been selected because they are playing the real Lightning game. We are coming with a bunch of Lightning components, such as the upload button, where you can choose many files to upload, or PDF files. Let's go for that. There are not images, but we are supporting all the Adobe files as well. PSD, EPS, AI, all the one that you have. We can also create automatically image records, such as this one as an example, that permits you to retrieve all the metadata from images directly within your Salesforce, including resolution, new version of the images, geolocation. All the metadata are here. Then you can, if you'd like to, review some images very easily. Come on. You just have to click on some images to see it bigger, and then choose maybe the one that you would like to have as a cover. And because you will select that as a cover, we are calling that a service. We save that as a URL, and guess what? It's rendered right away in one of our free Lightning components that you can also use on the App Exchange directly. If you want, you can also use the chat feed that is coming with our images, and that is coming also in the splitted version that you can have annotation on one side and on the other side that. Okay, I have to admit something. No developer were harmed in the making of that demo. I made that by myself, only by my admin skill. It took me only something like 15 minutes. But you know what? We love developers. So every single thing that you've seen, you can get advantage of this on your Lightning developments, on your page or on your components. Come on the App Exchange. You come with 2 weeks of free trial. Thank you.
Time's up.
Thanks to SharinPIX for that great demo. Next up, we've got Richard Clark and G from Provar Testing. In case you've never heard of it, it's a test automation tool that's specialized for Salesforce. And if you're bored of manually testing your Salesforce applications, which I am, Provar could be the tool for you. So you're going to help show us how we can cut testing costs, save time, and speed up our delivery cycle. Is that right?
That's right.
All right. Show me how easy this is.
Thank you, Jodi. Right, so we're going to show you Provar on a particular feature today, one of the Spring 19 features. We're going to show you how you can automate your testing of something like guided actions and Lightning Flow. So we've already created a test. So on the right-hand side here, you can see we've connected to Salesforce, we've logged in automatically, and we've created a case object. G's now going to come across onto the guided actions. He's going to map the first step in those actions. So we right-click, we add that to our test case. So Provar's identified which row that is, and it knows that we're going to do a click interaction because it's a button. So he's mapped that. What it's doing, it's saving that test back down so we can replay it later, and it's executing it for us. We now see the flow interacting. Again, we map that. We see that Provar's identified what that flow is and what the field is. So we know it's a text field, we hit set. If it's a toggle, we can toggle it. If it's a checkbox, we check the box. So we can map each of those fields, and it replays it, and then we want to map the click, the finish button. Quite a short demo, this one, but this is real from Trailhead. Now, if you're using any other way of testing, if you're doing record and playback, if you're using Selenium tests, and Kier's got a talk on that this afternoon, if you want to see how code looks, then you've got a test that works for that one org. Our tests work across all your orgs. They're repeatable. So what we're now going to do is we're going to validate that flow's worked. Now, that flow probably did some API integration. It probably did some Apex, probably did other things. We're showing you something visual, so we're mapping the history tab. So we're showing that completed status, validating that that flow completed successfully. But obviously what we want to check is maybe check that maybe if it's an order, that order went into your SAP system, and we can do all of those. So when we've completed our test, Provar's logging out, and what we want to do is provide some evidence. So it's great that we've tested it, but how do our stakeholders know this works? So what G's now doing, he's gone into the Provar desktop, and it's going to generate a PDF report of all the test cases we've run. Obviously, we've got 3 minutes, we've run one test case. We can see we've got a green tick on that test. We can see all the steps that we just tested. We can see the times for each of those tests, and the screenshots that have been captured as well. So if that's not good enough for you, we've got other ways. We've saved that test, which means we can integrate it with our CI platform, whether that's a Copado, whether that's a Gearset, AutoRabbit, Jenkins. Here we've got a Jenkins pipeline, and actually we're using Salesforce DX. So we're taking those changes that have been made, and we're validating those changes using the Salesforce Scratch org, or it could be within any other org as well, to make sure that we can deploy that into our other environments. That's all fine. So let's think about how else we can get our test results. We can write our test results into Salesforce itself. So we can have a dashboard here. So I can see my pass rate by environment, which are my environments where each of my tests are running. I can see my average pass. I can see my cross-browser testing as well within UAT. So not surprising, Chrome's the best. I've got a sawtooth graph of all the different pass rate over time as things break and pass. And I've got to understand which of my modules or which of my test cases are the most brittle. Where do I need to improve those? Thank you very much. Please come and see us in the expo if you've got any questions, and please vote Provar.
Next up, we have Gearset. Built from years of deployment best practice, Gearset is the DevOps solution of choice for companies building on Salesforce. Whether you're looking to adapt an agile release process, improve developer collaboration, or speed up project delivery, Gearset's fast and simple deployments, continuous integration, static code analysis, and DX integration can help. Are you ready?
We are.
3, 2, 1, go.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes. Right. Hello, we are Jason and Ellis from Gearset, and today what we're going to show you is how easy it is to make some changes, deploy them out with Gearset between your different orgs. So let's pretend that we are admins looking after our org. Our sales team have come to us and said, hey, we need to make some changes so we can capture some more customer data. Obviously, we're not doing this in production, very bad news, so we're going to make it in a stable, safe environment. We're going to log into our account object here. We've actually added a new value to our customer SLA to add a platinum level of customer support. That's great. We're going to make another change then. We're going to add a new field to our account to actually track whether customers have heard of us at a DemoJam before. So we're going to go in, create our field, set that as a checkbox, set it as default, and then save our field level security settings for that field. The final change that we're also then going to make is we're going to actually delete a page layout that just not using in the org. It's kind of slowing things down, so we're going to remove it to stop cluttering up the UI. So we'll go through, we'll delete the page layout, and we're now going to run a comparison in Gearset to deploy those changes out. So that's cool. We've made some changes. What we're going to do is select our source and target environment, run a comparison in Gearset. What it's going to do is it's actually going to pull the metadata from both of those environments, and it's going to show us the differences in a really nice readable format. So I can see exactly what changes I've made, and from there I can build up a deployment package so I can actually get my two orgs in sync, push these changes out to integration so my users can actually start testing them. So what I get back here is a really cool comparison. I can see the field that I've changed there. I've got the information in the bottom half so I can see what's different. If I jump to new items, again, we've got the DemoJam field we've added. We've got the field level security there so we can settle that for all our profiles in a single go. And then under deletions, we have our layout that we're going to delete for customer success. So that's all cool. We select our components. We hit next. Gearset will then take us through to the summary of the changes we're about to deploy. I can add in deployment notes so my team can see what changes I'm making. I've got a nice audit trail, add in some more information in the status there, and hit deploy. What Gearset now does is it's building up the package, uploading it to Salesforce. If there are any tests that need to be run, it'll run those and give us the deployment results. So that's cool. Yes, right, we've made some changes and we deployed them. If I wanted to from here, I can then see it in my deployment history, so I've got a really nice audit trail of what's gone on. If I wanted to, I could even then clone them out to another environment, so I could then push these changes from staging out into production. But actually, I've just had a report from my sales team that something is broken in that deployment. One of the fields that we changed has gone wrong. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to run a rollback in Gearset to push one of those changes back with leaving the other ones in place. So rollback's really simple in Gearset. Just hit rollback. You can see exactly the changes that we pushed here. You can actually choose to select a partial rollback. So in this case, we're just going to roll back the change to the SLA field on the account object. Hit next to deploy that out.
30 seconds.
And then again, you go through the same deployment flow. So Gearset builds my package. I can add deployment notes here to say to my team, actually, I'm just rolling back a partial aspect of this deployment. Hit next to deploy that out, and that change will be pushed out. So what we've done there in a couple of minutes is we've gone into an org, we've made some changes to customize it for our sales team, we've run the comparison, deployed it out, stored that in our history, found an error, rolled it back, had that stored in our history, and then from there, if we wanted to, we could even set up things like continuous integration with Scratch orgs, and a whole pile of other stuff to automate that release pipeline. 2 seconds to go. Thank you.
Well done.
Ready? Thank you, Gearset. Next up, we have Oliver from EBSTA. You're going to tell us about how 1,500 customers use EBSTA to drive revenue through customer engagement using your suite of customer intelligence and sales enablement tools. Are you going to show us how to unlock the company network and give us tools to engage with customers at scale? Is that what you're going to do today? Correct. Thank you. And are you ready? I'm ready. Go for it.
As a small demo jammer, you never want to stand this high, so I'm going to do that. There you go. So thank you for taking the time to listen to me. EBSTA is all about driving revenue and engagement through a suite of customer and sales intelligence tools. So just out of curiosity, just by a show of hands, who here truly, honestly believes that their entire user base actively and diligently updates Salesforce? Liar. Absolute liar. Okay, there is a humongous amount of valuable data that never makes its way into Salesforce, and a huge portion of that data is siloed away in all the different mailboxes across your organization. Give you a quick example. I had a colleague who worked with me many years ago, one of the best sales reps we ever had, never updated Salesforce, ever. And then he left our business. And I passed out all of the accounts and opportunities to other sales reps, and they're looking at empty accounts, empty opportunities, right? There's no emails, there's no contacts, it's empty, right? Let me put that into perspective even further. On average, 8.2 stakeholders are involved in a B2B sales process. If a rep is running 20 opportunities, net new opportunities every single month over the course of a year, that's 40,000 business relationships. Most of that doesn't exist in Salesforce. So I will show you how EBSTA helps resolve this situation. So I'm in Salesforce here. You could be looking at any account, any lead, any opportunity. I'm actually going to show you how, by creating a brand new record, we surface this data. So I'm creating a new account for a company called Bets Recruiting. So obviously it's going to be empty, right? There's no activity. It's empty. I feel like a magician. I'm creating it now in front of your eyes. I click Save. So as I said, there's nothing in Salesforce. However, via the Visual Force page that you can see here, what EBSTA is doing is looking in all of the disparate mailboxes in my organization, in all the different countries and offices we have in the world, and instantly unlocks every single historic piece of email communication we've had with any contact at that business. Inbound emails, outbound emails, sent from any device, all attachments, it's all there instantly. My team have done nothing to get this data there. In addition, we have unlocked all of the contacts that we have at this business. So this is every single person at Bets Recruiting that our team have historically had communication with. We give you insight into who the best contact is at this company based on the level of engagement that we're having with them. The contact details are parsed or scraped from their email signatures, which are sitting in someone's inbox somewhere in my business. And then importantly, we give you insight into who in your business holds the strongest relationship with this particular individual. My team have done nothing to get this data here. And now, what does this do? It gives me and my team the insight to deliver a better customer experience. We've got all of this data and all of this knowledge at our fingertips instantly. I've got about 15 seconds, so there's also one other part, which is we consistently cross-reference data in email signatures with existing contacts on Salesforce and look for changes, amendments, or updates. So now you're using the data that's in someone's inbox within your business and using that data to keep Salesforce up to date. Thank you very much.
Next up, we have Coveo. Coveo is on a mission to help companies make business personal using AI. As the pioneers of cloud-based AI-powered search and recommendations, Coveo has always been driven by making the lives of their customers easier and the relationship with their customers more meaningful. Coveo's platform helps enterprises transform their service delivery through personalized search and recommendations that enable customers and agents to become more proficient and engaged. Paul Sheridan, are you ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
So Coveo is a global strategic partner of Salesforce, and also Salesforce is a major customer of Coveo. In fact, you've probably already used Coveo on Salesforce's help and training website. We're also driving the intelligent search and recommendations on the Trailhead websites as well. But what I'm going to show you today is really 3 things about Coveo. How Coveo can be used on community clouds to help customers serve themselves, deflect cases, not create support cases. How Coveo can be used within, sorry, that's 3. How Coveo can be used within Service Cloud applications to enable agents to find the most relevant content to help them solve their cases more quickly and easily. And how business analysts can use Coveo to understand gaps in their knowledge. What are people searching for on the site and not finding, as an example. So starting off here, I'm going to be wearing a couple of different hats, pretending to be, first of all, a customer who's a customer of Speedbit, a manufacturer of fitness tracking applications. I have one, it's not working, I need to find information about how to solve my own problem. But there's content from many different locations, of course, a variety of Salesforce communities, discussion boards, videos, and so on. Luckily, Speedbit has deployed a Salesforce Community Cloud employing Coveo machine learning-driven search components here. And if I start to look for information about tracking my heart rate, I can find good quality queries and good quality results here from a wide variety of these sources. You can see here examples of YouTube videos, manuals, and so on. And if I cannot actually find what I'm looking for, you can still use Coveo components here within the case deflection interface, so that if I feel like I haven't found what I'm looking for, but I want to file a support case, you can still see case deflection happening here. Again, content inside and outside of Salesforce being leveraged by the user here to prevent them from creating a support case. Of course, there's always cases where the user does create a support case. So I'm going to change hats here and become a Speedbit support analyst. So I'm working within Service Cloud, of course. Over on the right-hand side, you'll see a Coveo Insight panel. Again, content being returned to the agent in the context of this case. We're pulling out the important terms, words, concepts from that case, and automatically returning to the user, or the agent in this case, the most effective content, the content that's been used to close cases in the past. These might be SharePoint articles, they might be closed Salesforce cases, really content from a wide variety of places, and the agent can actually make use of this information directly within Service Cloud, attaching it to the case, sending it to the user, and so on. Finally, I had mentioned, changing hats one more time, business analysts can use the sort of reports and analysis that Coveo provides around user searches, around clicks, around support case creation, to understand what we often refer to as content gaps, gaps in your knowledge. People are looking for things on your site. Agents are looking for information. They're not finding it. This gives you the opportunity, perhaps, to create new content to address the needs of your customers. So I showed you these 3 things. Coveo within Community Cloud, within Service Cloud, and also the use of Coveo analytics by agents. Please do drop by our booth, booth number 12. We'd be happy to talk about some great use cases with you there. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Coveo. We have 1 left, and then voting, and then lunch. We'll make it fast. We promise. I mean, at least 3 minutes. So, up on stage, we have Jason from Smart Communications with us, and they are a leader in the customer communication space. They've been on the App Exchange since 2012. And what they do, in case you don't know, is simplify and streamline customer conversations, all from inside your Salesforce org. No stepping out into Microsoft Word to create your customer templates. And this really is all around creating, personalizing, and negotiating content and delivering it across a variety of channels. So, there's a lot more words, but I'm going to let you do the talking.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Jodi. So yes, Smart Communications, thank you for having us. SmartCom for Salesforce, we are a document generation solution seamlessly embedded within Salesforce. And today I'm going to jump through a couple of use case scenarios. So from a sales perspective, your users are inside Salesforce. They need to generate some form of communication. Our SmartCom for Salesforce widget presents them a list of templates relevant to that record that they're working on. Depending on what they select, the options that they can generate change. So you can see edit, generate, collaborate in this example. In the first instance, from a sales perspective, I'm just going to do a generation here. And while this is loading up, it's going to present a proposal document in a moment. And here we go. And as you can see, we can create nice, rich, engaging proposals that a salesperson may want to send out to their clients. We've got their customer logos in here. We've got the products that we want to include, graphs, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to jump into a case scenario as well. So from the case record, we have the widget once again, and depending on what I select, those will change. But this time I'm going to go into our draft editor feature where they can personalize the communication. While this is loading, I'd like you all to get QR readers ready for the end of this demonstration in the assumption I finish on time. So what do we have here? A draft record. So you can see some shaded areas at the very top. This is all fully locked down when I try to make any amendments. Where there's no shading, I can paste some free text inside here. As a user, I can be guided through the communication, so depending on the type of customer. I can add some pre-approved content into the communication. And the beauty of this is fully tracked. The user can't disable this at any point, and my username and timestamp is recorded against this. This draft record is stored back inside Salesforce, so they can't run away and try and claim they didn't make any amendments before this is sent out. This is a fairly simplistic communication, but as you can see, the details are here. From an administrator's perspective, this is where we really add value. So remember SQL queries to go and manage this? This is our data modeler. You just go and select the fields that you want to go and use when you come to make them available within templates. The template designer, this is all click-driven, drag-and-drop style user interfaces. So there is no more coding of merge fields, etc. And as Jodi alluded to, no more Microsoft Word. So I wanted to add a business statement. I can come in here, drag and drop. For example, billing city, compare that with, let's say, the shipping city. And let's say I want to go and add some more clauses around this. We make it really nice and easy for a business user to come inside here and create this content. Let me just undo that very quickly. And the final part is we make this really responsive. So if you need to do impact analysis, you can see very quickly what's happened here. And jumping to make sure I do the very last bit. When we come to preview this, I could preview that draft that you saw earlier, but I can also use Litmus to go and preview this document. We have dynamic sections inside here, but for those with the QR readers, please scan that, and you should be able to preview this on your own device live from the preview environment. So as a designer, you do not need to go and publish this, go and send it to a staging environment.
Thank you very much, Smart Communications.
So that is it. That is the end of the demo jam. So have you picked your favorite? Can I invite all the demo jammers up onto the stage? Okay, so just to remind you that you can only vote once because all the other ones will get filtered out. And also, if you're a partner or been in the demo jam, you can't submit the talk, submit to the competition.
Down here.
Right, and ready? I'm going to put the URL on the screen, and I've just thought of a fatal flaw about this.
Now?
So, next slide. Okay, oh, it's worked. Oh, brilliant. Cool, and that's it. So, freeze? Yeah. Good. That is the link. So, everybody goes to that link. So, bit.ly/demojam19, and you've got 3 minutes to submit the vote. Right, you ready? Okay.
Should we dance?
This is the tap dance routine now, okay?
Ask them some questions. My mic doesn't work, so you have to ask them the questions.
Well, you can use that one.
Okay, apparently I have 2 now. I don't need to have 2. So, Copado, how do you feel? You think you smashed that?
I'm excited.
Excellent. Anybody else excited? Yeah. Were you guys excited about all these demos? You don't sound it. Is it because it's lunchtime? I don't care.
It's a way to ask.
So.
You can ask, are you excited? Oh. Hey guys, are you excited? That's a little better.
Not much. So, what was your favorite part of demoing your app?
The favorite part on my demo on my app, it's the ending, because it's always when you try to make it fit exactly at the right time. And I think that everybody did a very good job today on that.
I think think everybody did. And this gentleman at the end, I did want to give him a slight shout out. He just had a baby.
My wife.
You all know what I meant. And he told me right before I got on stage, I don't think I've slept in weeks. So I thought that was a pretty good effort for being sleep deprived.
I thought I'd done well.
Yeah.
I'm still standing. When I fall over, you'll know.
Okay, another 20 seconds.
For those of you that don't know at home, this is the lovely trophy. It's a nice wood trophy with Appy. If you're not familiar with Appy, go online and figure out who Appy is. DemoJam says London's Calling 2019. And I think that's probably enough for me. Do we have a winner yet?
We do have a winner. Okay. You ready to announce the winner, Jodi?
I am ready to announce the winner, and I'm really happy because multiple times I've been the DemoJam host, and this app has won. So, will my own backup people come front and center? And I promise it's not rigged. Here you go. I'd love to shake your hands, but I have no hands.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. So I'll give you guys a mic. You want to say a few words?
Yeah, well, I guess firstly, just an honor to be voted for. There's so many fantastic applications, so many great demos, and for you guys to vote for us is just amazing. So thank you all. I guess on a serious note, we are OwnBackup. We believe no one in the cloud should really ever lose data. So, our customers tell us all the time what we give them is peace of mind. So, we encourage you all. Come and chat with us. We're at booth 2. Thanks.
Oh, and we're hiring. Thank you.
Okay, and now we have lunch sponsored by Aperio. So have a great lunch.
If you want to have a meat pie, it will be the service area as you come down from the stairs. If you would like to have a vegan offering, then it's the back section as well. And there are cupcakes from Salesforce.